Hey, what is up guys? I'm Ironiq, and in this video, I will be playing 100 Days of Pokemon Scarlet, the new Pokemon game on the Switch. So how much can I do in this 100 hours? I guess you'll have to stay tuned to find out. This video took over 200 hours to make, so if you could, I'd really appreciate if you could go subscribe and like, because dang, this took forever, but it was definitely worth it. So now let's get right into the 100 hours. Hour 1 began by me creating my character. I then talked to my hot-ass mom until Dr. Clavel interrupted us. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty sure this man slept with my mom. They just kinda given off that vibe. So respect, honestly. I then met this chick who definitely has a thing for me, and now it was time to choose my starter. All of these starters are kinda trash, I'm just being honest. But I decided to choose the derpy little alligator guy, and I'm not even gonna attempt to say his name because I have no idea. I named him McNugget because honestly, that's kinda what he looks like. And let's be honest, McNuggets probably have some alligator meat in them anyways. I then battled the older chick, and me and McNugget absolutely destroyed her pussy. The cat, guys, the cat. And after I beat her, she gave me the Pokedex app. I then introduced my mom to my new girlfriend. She then taught me how to catch Pokemon. Woman, always trying to teach me stuff I already know. I was then looking off the side of a mountain, contemplating jumping because how annoying this chick was. But while I was looking down, I ended up finding an injured Pokemon on the beach. I then gave him a sandwich laced with fentanyl to put him out of his misery. But for some reason, the sandwich made him go absolutely super sane. And like all the women in my life, he ran away. I followed him into the cave, and that was a bad idea because we ran into a gang of Houndours. But luckily for me, I had this beast who absolutely scared the shit out of those Pokemon. Unfortunately, the gang pulled up on us again, but this time with their big brother. So this motherfucker decided to grab me like a loaf of bread and carry me out of the cave. He did not need to violate me like that, especially in front of the girl I'm trying to impress. But unfortunately for him, the fentanyl began to kick in. That's what he gets. I met this very angry guy who definitely has some daddy issues. And on top of that, I absolutely destroyed him in a battle. So he's probably on the edge right now. And on my way to the school, I battled this little kid. I absolutely destroyed him mentally and physically, calling him names that I won't repeat. Kids gotta learn somehow. Hour 2 began by me catching my first Pokemon. A Buizel, and I named him Moist because I know how much people love that word. And shortly after, I ran into my first Poke Center. I battled a few trainers on the way to the school, and eventually made it to the front doors. Then of course, this little bitch wanted to fight me again. And of course, McNugget and Moist made easy work of her. And right before the school, the game made me protect this Penny chick. She was getting bullied and I was just gonna leave her ass, but you know, the game made me, so. I made quick work of those weirdos and headed up the stairs. I then had my first class with this teacher who definitely cooks meth in his basement. I met back up with daddy issues guy, and he wanted me to go on a mission to collect lots of herbs. Definitely a pothead. My phone then got hacked and wanted me to join a cult. So of course I said yes. I then did a class with this hot ass teacher and talked to this professor who wanted me to take care of Caridion, which was the Pokemon we found on the beach. The crazy chick also ended up breaking into my dorm room. Kinda weird. Hour 3 began by me taking a class with Time, which is kind of ironic because Time is definitely not on her side. And for the rest of the hour, all I did was take lots and lots of classes. Hour 4, I learned how to ride Caridion. I then caught myself my third Pokemon, a Maschiff, and my fourth Pokemon, a Riolu, one of my favorites, and my fifth Pokemon, Ngumi, and I nicknamed it Dragoonite. You get it? I then went around and battled a few trainers. I found myself at the first gym, the Cortando gym. But before taking on the gym leader, I had to pass the gym test, which was this really weird thing where I had to put this olive thing in this basket. Yeah, weird, but hey. And right before I was about to take on the first gym, McNugget began to evolve into whatever the fuck that thing is. And now it was time to take on the gym. And McNugget swept her entire team. Yeah, it was pretty easy, I'm not gonna lie. I then ran up this mountain with boulders falling down it. Lots and lots of boulders. At the top was this Titan Pokemon. And of course, I beat it first try. And as I said, I beat it first try. Or so I thought, because I had to battle it again. This time with Arvin's help, also known as the guy with daddy issues. Thankfully, we defeated it and headed into the cave it was guarding. And inside, we found some pot. Thank goodness, because hanging out with Arvin really makes me need some. So Arvin whipped up a sandwich for me laced with the pot. But unfortunately, I had to be a nice guy and give it to Caridion because he was hungry. And luckily I did because it gave him the ability to swim. I wish drugs could do that in real life. Hour 5, I was joined by my friend Ender. And basically all we did was do exactly what I did the past 3 hours because this man was still at the beginning of the game. So I basically just followed him around. And while waiting for his slow ass, I decided to take some more classes. Hour 6 began by us doing our first raid battle together, which I ended up throwing a Pokeball at it and catching it. And before Ender took on the Cortando gym, we decided to do a battle against each other. And of course, I absolutely destroyed him. And while I was waiting for him to defeat the gym, I decided to do the olive roll again. And this time it was a lot different and just as weird. And afterwards, I ran into an Eevee, which I ended up catching. And finally, he ended up defeating the gym. Took him long enough. I then sat here and waited for him to defeat the Titan. And by hour 7, he was all caught up to me, so we decided to do a raid battle. And of course, I ended up catching it. We did another raid battle, and another one, and another one, another one. Evolved my Eevee into a Jolteon. So that's pretty cool. Did another raid battle, swim around for a little bit. Oh, you found a Dratini? It's a Dratini! We tried to catch him as Dratini, but we were not even close to the level we needed to be, considering it was level 54. But hey, we tried. Hour 8 began by us doing another raid battle. And another raid battle where I caught myself a Sandile and named it Crookusy. We were then running around the desert until we found the Earth Titan. But it absolutely destroyed us. So we tried again. But yet again, got destroyed. So we gave up and I bought myself a helmet to make myself feel better. We then decided we were going to go take on the gym, but the gym leader wasn't there, so we had to go find him. And eventually we found him. He then gave us our gym test, which was to win him an auction for some seaweed. A bit suspicious if you ask me, but hey, I did what I was assigned. And as per usual, before the gym fight, me and Ender had a fight of our own. And of course, I won. Hour 9 began by us taking on the water gym. And I'll be honest, we both got absolutely destroyed. Lots and lots of times. Until hour 10 where I finally defeated him. And to top it off, Moist ended up evolving.
Your Weasel. Oh yeah, finally.
It evolves into Floatzel. After we defeated the gym, we got a call from Cassiopeia, the hacker person. And we were met by Clive. Definitely not Director Clavel. Definitely not. But they ordered us to take down this Team Star base, so that's exactly what we did. I then got to the final boss, who had this massive car Pokemon, kind of looking like a battle bus, but it didn't matter because I was still able to take it out. We then went to take on the Earth Titan yet again, and thankfully this time we were actually able to defeat it. But of course we had to fight it again, but this time with Arvin's help. We ended up defeating it, went inside the cave it was guarding, got some more drugs, gave the sandwich to Caridion, and he was now able to glide. We then found out Arvin's actually kind of a nice guy taking care of this Pokemon. I would have never guessed it. Hour 12 began by us doing a raid battle. Lots of raid battles. I then caught myself a Dino and nicknamed it Threesome for its final evolution. We did some more raid battles, then took on the next Titan, the Cliff Titan. And this Titan was a lot easier to defeat, I'm not gonna lie, because this was actually supposed to be the first Titan we were supposed to do. But yeah, we're a bit special, so we did it third. Of course, after defeating it, I gave Caridion the sandwich, which gave him the ability to dash. So you could basically say we're Sonic now. We then went to fight the next gym, and we had to take on Pneumonia, I don't know, the crazy bitch. And of course, I ended up defeating her. We then began the gym test, which was to find 10 Sunflora. And of course, before taking on the gym, me and Ender had to do a battle of our own. And for the first time, I lost. We then took on the gym, which was very easy, mostly because I'm pretty sure this is the second gym you're supposed to do, but instead we decided to do the water gym first, which was a lot harder. And now I know why. And after the battle, Sandile evolved into Krokorok, so that's pretty cool. We met up with Clive again to take on the next star base. And yet again, the star team leader had this massive car Pokemon, but thankfully I was able to defeat it. Hour 14 began by me doing another raid battle. I then caught my favorite Pokemon in the entire world, Zangoose. And for the rest of the hour, I ran around doing lots of raid battles. Hour 15 yet again began by me doing more raid battles. And after battling lots of raid battles, we decided to go take on the next gym. And the gym leader was this crazy uwu chick who said she was famous. I don't know, I've never seen her. If anything, I'm more famous than her. And it was now time to complete the gym test, which was actually probably the best gym test yet. I had to find Director Clavel within this like picture thing. It was actually pretty cool. I see you hiding there, you little old shit. And of course, before the gym battle, me and Ender had to do our little fight. And unlike last time, I ended up defeating him. I mean, of course I did. Obviously, I'm just so much better than him at this game. It was now time to take on the gym leader, and what the fuck are those teeth? But also, can I like have your number? I ended up winning and decided to throw up some gang signs. Don't ask questions, I have no idea. We then went and took on the Steel Titan, also known as this very creepy looking worm thing. Of course, Arvin's ugly looking ass helped us out. Of course, as always, I gave the sandwich to Caridion, and he was now able to jump higher. So I'm pretty sure Arvin put some steroids in it. We then hopped on some Mario Kart. Oh wait, that's a different video. Hour 16, of course, began with me doing a raid battle. And after that, McNugget began evolving into his final form. And let's be honest, this final form of the final 3 starters is easily the best. The other 2 are pretty trash. And then this happened. Toad could be a good one. Tropius. I do like Tropius, but he's not water. Is that a shiny? That's shiny, no? Altaria doesn't look... As you can tell, I was very happy to run into my first shiny. And I'm not gonna lie, this Pokemon was very annoying to catch because it kept using a move called Perish Song, which basically means it's gonna commit suicide in 3 rounds. I got it! I fucking got it! I fucking got it! Let's fucking go! Let's fucking go! Oh my god, we fucking got it! Oh my god, we fucking got it! Oh my god. And compared to that, the rest of the hour was pretty boring. I mean, I did a few more raid battles, and Gumi ended up evolving into his second form. But like, how am I gonna one-up that shiny? Hour 17, of course, began by me doing some more raid battles. And that's basically all I did this hour. I also caught a Snover and evolved him into an Abomasnow, but that's about all I did. Hour 18 began by us going to the normal type gym to take it on. But of course, we had to first do the gym test, which was to figure out what the secret item was on the menu. Bit of a weird one, and I'm not gonna lie, it took us a little bit, but we eventually got it. Definitely didn't look it up. And it was now time to take on the gym leader. And I made quick work of him and won. I then talked to this Greta, whoever the fuck this chick is. I don't know, I guess she's kind of important. Pneumonia then wanted to battle me, and of course, I showed her who's boss. I then had a battle with Ender because we forgot to do it before the gym. And I'm not gonna lie, I got absolutely destroyed. So, that Abomasnow I caught, yeah, he's kicked off the team. I then gloated to my friends about my shiny. We then went and took on the Dragon Titan. And of course, I had to give the sandwich to Caridion. One day I'll be able to eat one of these myself. But he was now able to climb, so I guess that's cool. We then immediately went to take on the next gym and began doing the gym test, which were back-to-back double battles, which were pretty cool. And the actual gym fight was also a double battle, so that's pretty cool. And thankfully, I was able to take it out. Hour 19, I did some raid battles and involved Krokorok into his final form, Krookodile. Hour 20, I ran around catching some Pokemon, of course doing more raid battles, began training up Mankey, to then eventually evolve it into Annihilape. A very cool evolution added to this gen. Hour 21, I began training my new team, which consisted of McNugget, a Dino, the little Minecraft guy, a Zangoose, and a Tinkaton named Aurora. The reason I named it Aurora is because my friend took a gun to my head and said if I didn't name it that, she would kill my whole family. And she evolved into Tinkatuff, and then into Tinkaton, which is actually one of my favorite Pokemons of this gen. I mean, it just looks so dang cool, and its typing's a bit overpowered. And then it evolved the Minecraft guy into his second form, and caught myself a Dondoza. Hour 22, the Minecraft guy evolved into his final form, and now he Pyramid guy. And I now basically had my final team all together. I'd say it's a pretty decent one. I then met up with Arvin at a lighthouse, and he began telling me all about his mommy issues. Literally, that's not even a joke. We then talked to his mom, which ended up being the professor we met earlier, and she wanted us to come to a place called Area 0. Hour 23, I battled Arvin. I lost to Arvin, so I battled him again, and lost to him again. So instead, I did my first picnic, giving some of my Pokemon baths, and making my first sandwiches. Which I'm not gonna lie, making the sandwiches is a pretty fun thing to do, even though it's kind of stupid. Hour 24, Dragoonite evolved into his final form, Goodra. And yet again, I ran around battling every raid battle I could. And by the end of the hour, Dino was able to evolve into his second form, which I'm not even going to try to pronounce because, like, what? We then went to battle the gym and ran into Pneumonia. Still have no idea how to pronounce her name. But of course we had to battle her, and of course I absolutely destroyed her. We then did the gym test, which was a dance battle. And of course, to pass it, I had to do my signature move, the WAP. And obviously it blew the teacher away, and the gym test was passed. And of course, before the gym battle, me and Ender had to have a fight of our own. And yet again, I won. Who would have thought? I mean, I really need some better competition. But hey, I'm dealing with what I got, all right? It was then on to the gym leader, and just like I did with Ender, I absolutely destroyed her. She did have that cool giraffe thing, though, so, I mean, that's kind of cool. And since it was close by, we went and took on a star base. And yet again, the leader had a big truck thing, but thankfully, we took it out. And Cassiopeia called me and said it was time to take on the big boss. And I don't know who that is. It sounds kind of hot. Hour 26, I began taking on another star base, and of course I defeated the boss with ease. I then talked to Cassiopeia, and then went to take on yet another star base, and yet again defeated the boss with ease. And then I got a little cutscene of all the star base leaders talking to each other. What losers? And then yet again talked to Cassiopeia. Hour 27 began by me doing a raid battle. I then gave a bath to a bunch of my Pokemon, made a sandwich, and then Ender decided to brag that he had a King Gambit. What a loser. Hour 28 was a busy one, and it began by me using some bottle caps to hyper train some of my Pokemon. So that's pretty cool. We then did the gym test, which was a pretty cool one of like sliding down a mountain. Skiing, I guess you could say. And of course, me and Ender then had our battle before the gym leader. And because of his stupid Pokemon, I ended up losing. And it was now time to take on the final gym leader. And thankfully, I had McNugget because he made quick work of her. Easy. Gita then had a talk to me about the Pokemon League. Clive, you know the guy who helped me with the star bases, decided to reveal himself, and it was Director Clavel. Like we already didn't know that. He then talked to me about who Cassiopeia actually is, and I guess he wants me to go battle them. So on hour 29, that's exactly what I did, and Cassiopeia is Penny. Wow. Really couldn't have guessed that one either. And she basically just explained that Cassiopeia is the leader of the star teams, something like that. And it all got out of hand, but I'll be honest, I really don't care. And then all the leaders kind of got in trouble by Director Clavel. Kinda. But I guess Penny's gonna like make it up to them. I don't really know. And for the rest of the hour, all I did was do a bunch of classes. Hour 30, I began doing my midterms. Yes, I'm doing midterms in a Pokemon game. But of course, I'm going to ace these tests because I'm a damn genius. And by the end of the hour, all my midterms were done. And after a lot more classes, I began doing my finals on hour 31. And of course, I was passing all the tests because I'm super smart. And for finishing all the classes, I got a bunch of candies. So that's pretty cool and will help out a lot. I then talked to Penny, who was talking something about that she's making up her debt to the Pokemon League, or I don't know, something like that. But the important thing is she gave me Draco Meteor. And after that, I began looking around the shops to buy myself a new outfit. Hour 32 began by me doing some more hyper training. And once I did that, I began battling Arvin, who I ended up defeating. And he then began talking about Area 0, about how there's really strong Pokemon there. So it looks like we're going to be going to Area 0 pretty soon. And for the rest of the hour, I decided to try and take some selfies. Some very cool looking selfies. Yeah, cool. Hour 33, I kept trying to take some cool photos of Zangoose, but he was always sleeping or running around me like a crackhead. And by the end of the hour, Threesome began evolving into his final form, Hydreigon. Hour 34, all I did the entire hour was run around doing lots and lots of raid battles in preparation to take on the final 4, which is exactly what I began doing on hour 35. But of course, before that, me and Ender had to do our battle. And of course, I ended up defeating him, but he wanted to try again. And this time, he won. So of course, we had to do one more battle to make it best of 3. And his Tyranitar ended up putting in a very good shift. So I lost. But we can look past that. Didn't happen. What? What happened? Nothing. Anyways, on hour 36, I began taking on the Elite Four. Zangoose basically took out his entire team, so that was pretty easy. I then went and battled this little kid, and even though she was a little kid, I showed no mercy. I then went on to the next guy, which actually ended up being the normal type gym leader. And yet again, Zangoose put in that work. And I was now on the final person. And my Garganacl made quick work of him. And finally, it was on to the champion, Gita. And yet again, Zangoose put in that work and led me to the win. I did it. I beat the Elite Four and the champion. I mean, there was no doubt, right? Hour 37, I began getting my revenge on Ender for beating me the last few times. And I destroyed him. We decided to battle again, another easy dub, and we battled yet again, and of course, I won yet again. Because my Zangoose is just too OP, bro, and Ender's trash. Pneumonia then wanted to fight, and of course, I absolutely destroyed her. Hour 38, I then talked to Salvatore, asked me if he should keep his Palmy or something. I don't know, I just told him to keep it because, you know, I didn't want him to give it to me, that's for sure. I then talked to Time, Hassel, Miriam, Ryfort. I talked to all of them to grow my relationship with them because I guess they give you something at the end of it. And Ryfort ended up giving me all the locations of the ruins for those cool legendary Pokemon. She's also the hottest teacher in the game. Anyways, I talked to Director Clavel and then collected some gifts from the teachers. Hour 39, I began my adventure to Area 0. And we had constructed a team of me, Arvin, Pneumonia, and Penny. And right before we were about to go down to Area 0 on Caridion, someone grabbed my hand. God damn it, it's Arvin! We arrived down at Area 0 and I began battling Gamora from Guardians of Galaxy. I then arrived in a science lab and the button, I guess, didn't work. Professor Seda said, you know, you have to go to this lab, whatever, blah, 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 blah. I then battled even more weird Pokemon, reached another lab, began running through this really weird but cool looking cave. Caridion then met his evil twin. Then a lot of Pokemon began surrounding us, so we had to begin battling them all. And once me and Arvin defeated them all, he had a talk with Caridion saying he like ruined his childhood or something like that, and then gave him like a pep talk. We then met Arvin's mom, who was weirdly robotic. And she then began turning evil. So I had to end her evil plan by battling her, which was pretty easy to do. Arvin then discovered that his mom really wasn't alive and that she was just a robot this whole time. Unfortunate for him. She then continued her evil plan with sending out the copycat Caridion. And my Pokeballs wouldn't work. So it was up to the one and only Caridion. And of course, my Caridion absolutely destroyed hers. She then ascended all the way up into heaven. And just like that, I beat the entire game. Well, the main storyline. We got a cool photo. Director Clavel then gave me a Master Ball. Gita then told me that I needed to go back to every gym and defeat them again for some reason. Because I'm the champion now and I need to see if it's up to par, I guess. Hour 41, I began running around with Aurora, catching a bunch of Pokemon I didn't catch in the beginning. I'll be honest, this is one of the stupidest Pokemons in the game. I then went and took on the Cartondo gym yet again, and absolutely destroyed her yet again. and then continued catching all the little stupid Pokemon around the area, because my next mission was to fill up the Pokédex. Hour 42 was much of the same as I continued catching Pokemon. I then did a little dance with Spook. The three of us then decided to do our first picnic together. They also convinced me to spend a ton of money on ingredients to make this massive sandwich. I mean, when there's 3 people, this sandwich is literally massive. Me and Aurora then just sat on top of this mountain, and Curdion was a little glitched. Hour 43, I had a battle with Aurora, which was kind of bullying because this was her second time ever like playing Pokemon, but I got the dub. And I then battled Spook, which yet again was probably considered bullying because this was like her second time on this game. But yet again, I got the dub. I then got traded to Quaxley, and they then sent reinforcements with our friend Maggie, who is very good at Pokemon. So, anyways, I definitely didn't try multiple times, but obviously I'm the best player ever, and I got the dub. Hour 44, Ender wanted some smoke now, so we began battling, and I mean the same result as always. He then tried again, and I'm just too good at this game. Let's go. Hour 45, we did some raid battles, caught some more Pokemon, and bullied Aurora some more. Hour 46, I continued catching Pokemon, filling up my Pokédex, such as Bronzong, Revavroom, and Silly Cobra. Hour 47, I began catching some more Pokemon and even more Pokemon. Made some very yummy looking sandwiches. Yeah, that sandwich looks very yummy. And by the end of the hour, I found my favorite Eevee evolution. So of course, I had to catch it. Hour 48, I had another battle with Ender, which I won. And another battle with Ender, which I won again. I mean, I don't even know why he keeps trying. Hour 49, I caught some more Pokemon, did a picnic, made a really long sandwich, and collected some eggs. Hour 50, I made a sandwich by myself, which is a lot smaller than when you make it with 2 other people, that's for sure. I then sat around with my Ditto and my Zangoose, trying to collect a bunch of Zangoose eggs to try and get a shiny Zangoose. And after that, I went back to Area 0, where I caught a bunch of the Pokemon that were down there, and the most important one being Roaring Moon, which all of my friends wanted, so I had to catch a bunch of them. I also caught Caridion while I was down here. You know, the other Caridion, the copycat one. Yeah, I caught him with my Master Ball, but I lost the footage. Whoops. Hour 51, I spent the entire hour doing picnics, washing Zangoose, and collecting a bunch of Pokemon eggs. Hour 52, I began hatching all those eggs, with no luck of getting shiny Zangoose, did some raid battles, and continued collecting Pokemon I didn't have to fill up my Pokédex. Hour 53, I began trading some of my friends' Roaring Moon in order to get some Violet exclusives. Hour 54, we did some more raid battles, hatched some more eggs, still no shiny Zangoose, made a really long comical sandwich, and then finished off the hour with catching a penguin with an ice cube on its head. Hour 55, me, Spook, and Aurora made a sandwich that increases your chance to get shinies. And this one was specifically for ice Pokemon, so we began running around like crackheads around the ice. But I was unlucky and didn't find any, and Spook and Jill both found one. So, depression. At least I still have my shiny Altaria. Hour 56, we began doing more raid battles to try and get Herba Mystica so we could make some more of those sweet, shiny sandwiches. Hour 57, I collected some more eggs, did some more raid battles, and hatched a ton of eggs. Hour 58, I continued catching Pokemon I didn't have, and did more and more raid battles. Hour 59 began by me doing the same thing, even more raid battles, hatching some eggs, making some more sandwiches, and collecting some more eggs. Hour 60, more raid battles. Caught some cool more Pokemon, more raid battles, pulled a bunch of stakes out of the ground, went to a weird looking door temple thing, and began fighting one of the 4 legendary Pokemon. This one was the snail one, and I ended up killing it. Thankfully, I just have to wait a little bit and I can refight it. Hour 61 began by me doing a raid battle. I then got traded a Froakie, hatched some more eggs, still no shiny Zangoose, caught some more Pokemon, went to another shrine, and began trying to catch Chin Pao? I don't know, he looks really cool though. And after lots of Pokeballs, I ended up catching it and named it after my cat. because I don't really know why. And I ended the hour with doing another raid battle. Hour 62, I hatched some more eggs, caught more and more Pokemon for my Pokédex, made a sandwich, and collected more eggs. Hour 63, I made some more sandwiches, did another raid battle, pulled some more steaks out of the ground, and then went to another shrine. Began battling Ting Lu, and ended up catching it. And then went back to Wu Qin, the snail guy, and finally caught him. I didn't kill him this time. And at the end of the hour, I caught myself a Dragonite. So that's kind of cool. Hour 64, I did more and more and more raid battles. Hatched some more eggs and still no shiny Zangoose. I'm never gonna get him. Hour 65, I went to the final shrine and began battling Chi Wu, also known as the fiery goldfish thingy. And after lots of Pokeballs, I ended up catching it. I now had all 4. Hour 66, I collected eggs for the entire hour. Hour 67 began by me doing a raid battle and hatching a ton of eggs, because I'm still yet to get that shiny Zangoose. Hour 68, I found an Ampharos and caught the Ampharos. Hatched some more eggs, caught your mother, and a Carkol. Hour 69, I made a big decision. Since I was completing the Pokédex, I wanted to go a step further and just do a living dex, cause why not? So I evolved the cat to its final form and the duck to its final form and began ordering them in my boxes. Hour 70, I did some hyper training and me and Ender then had a battle and I basically used the same team I always used except I replaced McNugget with the goldfish guy. And my Hydreigon ended up taking his Roaring Moon out, so I defeated him. We fought again and he got his revenge. So we fought again and I beat him again, loser. Hour 71, I did raid battles for the entire hour. Hour 72, I continued sorting out my living dex and then made another one of those really long shiny sandwiches with Spook and Aurora. And this one was for water Pokemon. So I began looking for a shiny water Pokemon, but I didn't find one. So we made another sandwich. And of course I was getting very unlucky and I was finding no shinies until hour 73.
You get one?
I got a shiny Sudowoodo. Thank fuck, dude. Man's looks doesn't look that different.
He looks like a shit. He looks like a fucking stick of shit. Literally.
Well, but at least I caught my second shiny, even though, yeah. Hour 74, I hatched some more eggs. Still trying to get that shiny Zangoose. And then bought some more ingredients and collected some more eggs, caught some more Pokemon, and continued sorting out my living dex. Hour 75, I caught a Houndour, a Sunflower, a Moth, an ugly bug thing, and a gold duck. I then made a sandwich because I was hungry. Hour 76, I caught some more Pokemon, hatched some more eggs, and caught some more Pokemon. Hour 77, I caught some more Pokemon, did more and more raid battles, and hatched some more eggs. Hour 78 began by me doing another raid battle, catching more Pokemon, running around with the Pokemon for it to then evolve, made a sandwich to collect more eggs, continued sorting my living dex, and then hatched some more eggs. Still no shiny Zangoose. Hour 79, I caught a Jigglypuff, a Dash Bun, a Hypno, and hatched some more eggs. Hour 80, I hatched some more eggs, caught a Steenie, did a raid battle, caught a Haunter, made a sandwich, and collected some more eggs. Hour 81, I did more and more raid battles, evolved a Smoliv, organized my living dex, and caught a Lilligant. Hour 82 began by me doing another raid battle, caught myself a Spoink, evolved some Pokemon to fill out my living dex, lots of them, did another raid battle, caught my breakfast for tomorrow, and continued sorting. Hour 83, I made a sandwich, collected some eggs, did a raid battle, another one, caught this little guy, and this cool little guy. Hour 84, I continued sorting out my living dex, made myself a sandwich, and collected some more eggs, because I still am yet to get that freaking shiny Zangoose, man. And I ended off the hour with doing a raid battle. Hour 85 began by me doing a raid battle. I then made myself a sandwich, collected even more eggs, did another raid battle, and another raid battle, evolved an Eevee, and continued sorting out my living dex. And I'm about halfway. I'm in the 200s, finally. Hour 86, I did raid battles for the entire hour. Hour 87, I used a bunch of the candies I got from raid battles to evolve a bunch of my Pokemon. And the living dex was coming together. Hour 88, I spent the entire hour catching more Pokemon. Hour 89, I ran around with a Tumbleweed, and after lots of running, it ended up evolving into a bigger Tumbleweed. Hour 90 began with me doing a raid battle. I then evolved a Pokemon into an Emo, and then evolved him again into what I wish I could be built like. Cause damn. Hour 91, Aurora sent me a Rotom. I then got a Hatina and caught myself an Orthworm. One of the worst Pokemon ever. Jeez. Hour 92, I did raid battles for the entire hour. Hour 93 began by me collecting some more eggs. I then caught a Frostlass and a Spirit Tomb, which by the way was very hard to catch. Hour 94, I began running around this biome looking for a certain Pokemon. And it seems like I ran around forever and I couldn't find it. So instead, I went and caught myself a Sandygast. Hour 95, I got myself a Cloyster, and I then went back to looking for the certain Pokemon. And I ran around for a while and I still couldn't find it. And there's a reason for that. And it's a very stupid reason, but you'll figure out why. In hour 96, Aurora traded me the thing I was looking for. And the reason I couldn't find it was because it was version exclusive to Violet, and I'm playing on Scarlet, so yeah, I wasted a lot of time. She also traded a few more Pokemon that I didn't have because she's an absolute tryhard and catches every single Pokemon. I mean, that is literally exactly what I'm doing too. Anyways, hour 97, I evolved Shelgon into Salamence, and then continued sorting out my living decks. And I ended the hour by doing a couple raid battles. Hour 98, I began the process of evolving Bisharp. And after lots of fighting, I ended up doing it and evolving him into King Gambit. I did another raid battle with the newly acquired legendary Pokemon from Violet that Aurora gave me. Also gave her my other Cridion. Got myself a Baxcalibur, and by the end of the hour, I was so close. I just needed 4 more. Hour 99 began by me collecting all my rewards for the Pokédex. Obviously, I still needed 3 more to complete it, but I got a bunch of rewards anyways. Aurora then came in clutch again by trading me some of the Violet exclusives, such as this one, and this one. I can't be bothered to say their names, I'll be honest. And just like that, I had 399 out of 400. I was just missing 1. And of course, it was one of the most annoying ones to get, Armor Rouge. But thankfully I got some help and I was easily able to do it. And now my living dex was fully complete. I then talked to these guys who congratulated me and gave me the shiny charm, and they also gave me a diploma. And I'll be honest, I can't believe I actually completed the living dex. This is my first time in any Pokemon game ever doing that. Hour 100, I began going to every single gym leader and destroying them. Every single one, so easily because I'm just the best at this game. I mean, they just stood no chance. And by the end of the hour, I destroyed every single gym leader for the 2nd time. And that's the story how I played 100 hours of Pokemon Scarlet. I got a full living dex and 2 shinies. I was hoping to get a lot more than 2 shinies, but you know, I'll take 2. And thank you guys for watching, and let me know how you guys think I did. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.